Hey gang, welcome back to Let's Play Mass Effect. So, I'm starting a new play session, and in my sound check, I did this.
Commander, something you need?
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet. If you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
So I did that,
I have to go.
I said goodbye,
See ya.
and then I got 16 XP Codex entry, and I leveled up. All in the sound check. Did not mean to do that. So, let's address the Codex first. It's going to be a primary one, so this guy's going to read it. So, I know I ended the last episode with a bunch of Codex entries. I'm starting off the next episode with a Codex entry. Sorry about that, but that's just the way it goes when you're reading all the Codex entries in your LP. Keep in mind that as we go throughout the game, there will be fewer and fewer Codex entries going forward. Or at least they'll be more spaced out, I think. So just bear with it these first, 30-odd, 40-odd videos or so. Okay, ships and vehicles.
The Normandy is a prototype starship developed by the Human Systems Alliance with the assistance of the Citadel Council. It is optimized for scouting and reconnaissance missions in unstable regions using state-of-the-art stealth technology. For most ships, the heat generated through standard operations is easily detectable against the absolute zero background of space. The Normandy, however, is able to temporarily sink this heat within the hull. Combined with refrigeration of the exterior hull, the ship can travel undetected for hours or drift passively for days of covert observation. This is not without risk. The stored heat must eventually be radiated, or it will build to levels capable of cooking the crew alive. Another component of the stealth system is the Normandy's revolutionary Tantalus drive, a Mass Effect core twice the standard size. The Tantalus drive generates mass concentrations that the Normandy falls into, allowing it to move without the use of heat-emitting thrusters.
Very good. Nothing in secondary, nothing in secondary. Okay, now let's level up for that experience I got from talking to Joker, apparently. That's all I needed. Let's get ourselves to Carnage. Carnage! Okay. Now, we have a mission. We have taken over the ship, the Normandy, from Captain Anderson. We're still a commander, though. We haven't been promoted at all. We have a crew, and we have a destination. Well, at least we have a mission. Our mission is to find and eliminate the threat known as Saren. Now, there are some new crew members since we came aboard. Since we left last time, since we came to the Citadel. And we, of course, had not actually visited all the ship before we came to the Citadel. We did that on purpose because I figure Shepard probably knows the ship like the back of his hand. But now that we have new crew members, we have an excuse to go around and visit the whole ship to see how the new crew members are hanging in there, so we will do that as soon as we finish talking to Navigator Presley here, see if he has anything new for us, since we've been away from the ship for a while.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
First thing you should say to your new commanding officer is, I'd second-guess all your decisions.
I'm in charge here, Presley. I decide if we have non-humans on this vessel.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Personal question? Don't know what this is going to be, but this seems like the time to ask.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were at Elysium during the Skillian Blitz. A massive fleet of alien raiders hit the colony, trying to wipe it out. They had the numbers, but their ships were no match for an Alliance frigate. It was a slaughter. We couldn't even keep track of how many ships they lost.
And assignment to the Normandy.
How'd you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
So you're not in favor of the non-humans on the ship, huh?
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
Well, Saren's going after a bigger problem, which is the Reapers, which is not just our problem. And second, why would you turn away talented and capable help? I'd like to say both of them, but let's do the latter.
Some people think asking for help is a sign of weakness. That's just being stupid and stubborn. No matter how strong you are, allies can make you stronger.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking.
That's
but don't
true.
worry, Commander. This won't be a problem.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, sir.
Another codex entry. God damn. Okay. Probably nothing to do over here, right? No. Let's go check the lower decks. See how they're at ease. See how the new crew is getting along. Let's see who we got in here. There's Caden. We haven't been to this room yet. Looks like commander's quarters. Another codex entry. Boy, okay. As you were. Caden. Oh, they're giving each other that knowing look.
Anything you need, Commander?
Anything you got to say on the new crew?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
Alright.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
Yeah, quit wasting my time, Alenko. With me walking up to you and asking you to waste my time. We won't talk to the doctor right now. Let's head below decks then. Yes. And here we are. Well, let's welcome the second newest member of the crew.
Nice ship you've got, Shepard. What can I do for you?
Tell me something about yourself, Rex.
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Oh, come on. You're on the crew now. Don't be a hard ass.
You Krogan lived for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
It's not?
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth?
No.
And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
Alright. Point taken.
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Won't.
Sorry, Rex. I wasn't trying to get you upset.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
What is it that's killing you?
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
What's that have to do with anything?
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
How bad is the genophage?
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know It makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected. Every one. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
I think I would know that no one's rushing to find a cure. Baby Krogan sound really cute, don't they? I imagine they'd be really, really cute. Baby Krogan. Yeah, okay. Alright. No one's rushing to find a cure. That really bugs you, I bet.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist?
Spoilers!
You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Shepard. Rex. Ash? How you like the new crew?
Commander?
How are we doing?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander.
Oh yeah, Eden
No
Prime.
offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
Wish we would have, rescued more of you?
You wish we'd been able to save the rest of your unit.
Yes, sir. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
You couldn't have known there was going to be an ambush.
We never trained to fight synthetics. The Geth haven't gone beyond the Veil in 3 centuries.
Our training's supposed to make us able to adapt. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Alright. Anything... Can we talk? I guess this is a chance for Shepard to try to get to know his crew better. He's got a lot of new crew members, and he wants to be as well informed about them as he can be, because they're going to be his right and left arms, right? So...
Do you have a few minutes to talk one-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duty squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
Sure.
Dismissed, Chief.
Sir.
Okay, we'll come back to the equipment side of things. Garrus. Hanging out with the Mako, eh?
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
You knew that?
Have you worked with a Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
I see how that could be true.
Being a Spectre does have its advantages.
Exactly my point. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
That was why?
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
That's a tough call to make.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
Sounds good to me. Provided that you're not brutal about it.
As long as you do your job well, you're free to go about your business as you see fit.
Thank you, Commander.
Right. And who might... Well, I guess we would already know who this is. Requisition Officer. Hi.
Hey, Commander. Looking for some extra supplies before you head out?
Sure.
What have you got?
Whatever you want. Armor, weapons, mods. It's not standard Alliance issue, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Well, as long as you don't mind paying for it.
Sure, I'll pay.
Why should I pay you for my weapons and armor?
My stuff doesn't come from the Alliance. I have to purchase it myself, and it's not cheap. Hell, the licenses alone have set me back more than I'd like. But no licenses, no goods. Without the goods, I'm out of a job.
I think I've already got some licenses for you.
What are licenses? Why do you need them?
Oh, I already know that.
Manufacturers sell licenses. Each license allows me to buy and sell a certain brand of products. I already have several basic ones, but you'll need to buy more if you want me to bring in different brands. Many of the best licenses are hard to get, but they're well worth the cost if you can find them.
How many manufacturers do you supply from?
What do the different manufacturers offer?
There are too many for me to keep track of, but each license will explain what it's good for.
Alright, and how often do you get in new items?
How often will you get new items?
I said that already.
Well, that depends on how many licenses you've purchased, but I'll rotate items on a regular basis regardless. And anytime we land someplace with a big enough port, I'll buy, sell, and trade whatever I can. Check back often. I need to move items quickly, so only the most basic items will be stocked consistently.
Let's see it.
Let's see what you've got.
You bet, Commander.
Spectre gear, eh? Nope, won't be getting that anytime soon. 200 bones, huh? I'll take it. Pistols. Got any awesome shotguns by any chance? Too expensive. Yes, too expensive, but okay. Ooh. That'd be really good, compared to what I have now, of course, but okay. Fine. Let's go see what's going on down here in the engine room. Hey, Engineer Adams, I haven't even talked to you yet since this whole thing started up. Whoa, that looks cool. Engineer?
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tali? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
Is that a problem?
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a
Then we
real
won't
knack for
need you
technology
anymore,
now.
right?
I can see why you wanted her to come along.
Well, that's good.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for talent, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
An eye for quote-unquote talent, as the chauvinists say. How's the Normandy running?
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on. Probably the fastest vessel ever designed. And she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
Yeah, I understand the Tantalus is twice as large as other drive cores. Tell me about it.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size.
That's what
of
I
any
said.
other
I knew
vessel.
that already.
Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
And the stealth system is state-of-the-art too, right?
Fill me in on the IES stealth systems. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
So essentially we're invisible.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
FTL ends the stealth game, huh?
Why doesn't it work with faster-than-light travel?
Cranking up the FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
We're untouchable. Tell me about yourself, Adams.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts,
Constellation
to
class,
right
Excelsior
down to
class.
frigates like the Normandy.
No?
My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship.
Galaxy
Couldn't
class.
hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Aye, aye, Commander. Tally. Examine what now? Field integrity model? Monitor? What? Where is that? There it is. Tally, welcome aboard.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small.
Yeah, that's me, fitting large
I'm
things into
starting to
tight
understand
spaces.
why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
Well, normally they're not this advanced. This is a pretty unique ship.
The Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
Engineer, huh?
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
Good grief, that was a long time ago.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla. Grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Tell me more about the pilgrimage.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
And are you always accepted?
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Anything you can tell me about the Geth? They seem to be our biggest enemy here, at least as far as shock troops go.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Lay it on me.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
This was before AI research was illegal, I think. Because the Geth are the reason that it is illegal. At least that's my understanding.
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. 1 million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
Tell me about the neural network.
So, the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in the group, the smarter they are.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share
No, you
sensory
fucking
data
moron.
or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
Yeah, I don't know if I get that.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers. As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
What happened next?
What did you do?
It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
They defended themselves, it sounds like.
You can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Tell me about your own race.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong.
I would be willing to bet that half the major metropolitan cities on Earth at this time probably house more than 17 million people. Let's see. Surrendering the freedom civilities. Surrendering civil liberties, huh? Like what?
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed.
And everybody starts banging.
In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births. Though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
Tell me about the Conclave.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
So roughly democratic, or at least electively representative.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials.
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts.
I like that idea
well.
of the Quarian government.
In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
I like the idea of being able to use a veto, but being forced to step down after using the veto. I think it's kind of a cool, like, kind of a Cincinnatus kind of idea. But I wonder if you applied it to the real world, nobody would ever veto, right? Like, they would probably just be more interested in staying in power. People would probably put their own personal agenda ahead of whatever is best for the flotilla or, the state. I'm thinking it just seems very unlikely that in, the contemporary United States of America, circa 2014, that I could not conceive of a group of congressmen or a president or something like that saying, I'm going to use my executive veto, and by doing so, I understand that I will have to resign this post and someone else will be taking it over. That would almost certainly never happen. But maybe in a form of government where egos were checked at the door, or there wasn't quite as much money in it, I guess maybe you could make the case that something like that could be effective and incorruptible, but I don't know. Anyway, Tali, it was nice talking to you.
I should go.
See you later.